Alright. Hey, welcome to the Nordeast Comics Summit. I'm your host, Kevin Cannon. Put the beer down. Come on in, I'm just getting started. So, yeah, this year starts a new year. I thought we'd tackle like some basic programs that a lot of cartoonists use and start out with one of the most basic ones, Photoshop. And I'm just going to kind of wing it today. I'm going to pretend as if, like, let's say City Pages put out a call for cartoon for their next issue, and they have some requirements like it needs to be 300 DPI and all that kind of stuff. So I have a sample drawing. We'll go through scanning it, cleaning it in Photoshop, getting it ready to send to the client, and hopefully if we have time, I can talk about coloring, layers, color manipulation, that kind of stuff. And I really hope that you guys just shout out any questions that you have along the way, because I really think this will work best if it's just sort of an interactive thing. We're all at completely different levels as far as our experience with Photoshop and our knowledge of Photoshop. So don't feel dumb, and just throw out a question because somebody else probably already has that question too. So that's it. I hope everyone can see okay. We're trying the new format. Kind of like it, but we'll see. So yeah. We'll get going. Oh, yeah. Thank you. And, yeah, let's see how that looks. Yeah, it's getting better.
Romantic.
Yeah. Alright, so you've been hired to draw something, so let me go to my scanner. And a lot of times for little illustrations, I just use a little 3-in-1 scanner that I got at like Office Max or something. Nothing special. What I like to do is, so I guess we should talk about DPI, or the resolution of an image. That basically means dots per inch, or sometimes PPI, pixels per inch. And it basically means how, just like it sounds, how many pixels there are per inch of your picture. So obviously, the higher the resolution, the crisper, and the more you can zoom into your picture. So a lot of you have probably heard the term 72 DPI, which is what a lot of images, that's the resolution of a lot of images on a computer screen. If you were to take an image from a computer screen that may look good on your computer and then print it in a newspaper, it would look extremely grainy. So when you are doing something that's going to be actually printed, you want it as high as possible. Now, to look good in a newspaper, the lowest you want to go is 300 DPI, and that's what most people, most places like City Pages will ask for a 300 DPI picture.
My newspapers as well.
What's that?
300 DPI, my newspapers as well.
Exactly, yeah. Personally, I like to have higher resolution just as an archive, just so I always have something at a higher res. So I'll usually scan stuff at 600 in black and white, so let's... That's not cool.
So you actually scan in black and white?
Not grayscale?
Yeah.
Oh, this thing, that actually means grayscale for whatever reason.
Oh.
And
Only on my printer too.
On mine, if I say black and white, it's usually like black and white.
I should have tested this, I guess. I don't know what's going on. Alright, let's try it one more time before I give up. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is just jump right into Photoshop and pretend that I've got a drawing. So, let's say you've scanned an image that is 4 inches by 3 inches at 600 DPI grayscale. So that's going to be a pretty big image, probably bigger than you would need, which is good. And just draw something really quickly here.
Geez, where's the one to draw, buddy?
I know, right?
Wow. Looks like one of my comics.
Introspective comments.
Alright, so that is the amazing picture that you're going to have printed in City Pages.
This is a lot faster than using the scanner.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to throw away that scanner, I think. This is just fine. So when you get a picture into Photoshop, the steps that we're actually missing right now are that your scanner is going to pick up bits of grain and dust. Like there's an eyelash, there's some stuff. So the first thing that I do will be, actually the first thing I'll do is save, like I want to save a raw scan just for my archive. So I end up using a lot of hard disk space.
Is that mostly just in case that you make a mistake during the cleanup or anything like that?
That's a big part of it, yeah. And sometimes like I'll go a completely wrong direction and I'll be like, oh man, I wish I could go back to that original point, you know, where I went wrong. Sort of like in Choose Your Own Adventure, you can always kind of go back to that one place where you messed up. So I'll call this raw scan. And sometimes I'll also go like _600 just to let myself know that it's a 600 DPI file. Okay. So your best friend right now is something called levels. So on Apple, it's Apple L. And usually if you've just scanned it in, your picture will actually be grayer than you want it to be. And let me, close your eyes, let me actually simulate that for a second here. Okay, so this is actually what your scan might look like. You've probably all experienced this where it doesn't look very pretty right now. So hit Apple L, you've got your levels. Make sure preview's on so you can kind of see what you're doing. I don't know any of the terms for this because I'm sort of self-taught in Photoshop, but what I call the left arrow right here. Bring that up, and this basically makes all your black lines as black as possible. There'll usually be a hump right there, and you want to get your arrow right to the middle of that hump. And that basically tells you that your blacks are as black as possible. Conversely, on here, you can see that this scan kind of gray right there. I don't like that. So this white arrow, I'm going to bring that to the other top of the hump, and that basically brings that in line too. So you can already tell that your picture is getting pretty. So I'm going to go like that. Now if you want to clean up some of this dust, you've got a lot of options. You can use the brush tool. We're in the brush tool right now. Click D to get a black and white. Like let's say you've been working in grays or whatever, and your palettes, this is your top color, this is your background color. Let's say they're all gray. The quick way to get it back to pure black and pure white is just hit the letter D. And you can see that. And then you can hit the X button to switch those. So now I'm actually in white right now. And I can just quickly just draw over that, draw over that, draw over that. And I'm going to show you another trick which I like. Has anybody ever used the healing brush tool before? Nobody. Oh, you're in for a treat.
Tried. It's
okay.
Hit the...
You can also use Dodge at 100% highlight to get rid of dust and whatnot.
What is that?
Dodge tool.
Oh, see, I haven't even used Dodge tool. What letter is that one?
I think it's B, isn't it? No.
B.
It's the one right above the pen tool.
Yeah, the tool
like the black
looks like a stick pin.
Black lollipop, down, down, down.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
And so what does this do?
Do highlights 100%. It works better in like grayscale, like little dust specks and whatnot.
Oh, okay. Well, for now, I'm just going to show you the healing brush tool, which is the J tool, or the letter J rather. And so what this does, and this is actually great if you're working on images that aren't black and white but have a lot of texture. And basically hold down Option, and what you're going to tell the computer is that this area right here, I actually want it to look like this patch over here. So hold down your Option, click the good area that you want to copy. So I'm going to press down there. And then...
How is that any different than cone stamping?
Could be the same thing. I've never used those either. So, and that's the beauty of Photoshop. I think there are more tools than you ever need, and it sounds like there's some redundancies built in. So I think the important part is if you as a cartoonist, whatever gets you to the endpoint that you are satisfied with, I think that's the key. So anyway, I'm just going to go back to brush, quickly clean this stuff up.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Say you have a really fine line drawing, and when you adjust the levels, it kind of depletes some of the lines because they're so thin.
Yeah.
Picks it up as gray, but that's kind of what you're looking for is the thin line. So you kind of want to keep it, but it's getting gray. So is there any...
Yeah. One trick for that. Let's get a really nice well, let's see. Let's go back to that gray.